We're in the cycling room at Central Coast Fitness. I'm just going to quickly do a video on the lost art of masculinity and how femininity is losing its way in understanding and predicting masculine behaviour, trying to navigate it. I don't think they're doing a very good job of it. They can't seem to understand what aggravates a man and what they can do to prevent that or stop that. I've noticed on a couple of occasions, a couple of my last relationships, the women had no clue as to the aggravation they were causing in the lack of resolve during the smallest of conflicts. And whilst you're trying to read and understand their inabilities to grasp things, although I've had the last lady I was with, she was pretty good. She'd stop and think about things, but ultimately there was too many issues coming from her side of the fence, maternal side of the fence, that she just got wiped out. But when good women, high value women, they know what's going to aggravate a man and they'll prevent that from happening, not out of fear but out of wisdom. They know how to navigate themselves in a way in which it's going to facilitate the man so that he can produce the best results as he can on his in his life, be it for exercise, be it for going to work, be it for her, be it for the children, for her children, whatever the case might be. A woman knows how to navigate a man in a way in which she's going to produce the best results for him and the best results for herself, because everything will come back to the performance of the man for her. Now, women that don't understand this principle couldn't give a rat's about whether the man's angry or not, and why they end up on their own is because they lose their way, they lose their value for the reading of what the man's feeling and how he's going to respond and what she's doing to aggravate him or upset him or disrupt him. These are low-value women. They lose their value. They come into the man's life and then they lose their value for the man's performance and the way in which he's going to see her behaviour and how she's responding. So what I'm trying to say is, like, men need to understand the nature of women, and it's a very hard nature to understand. In fact, Winston Churchill said, women are to, what did he say? Women are to be loved but never understood, or something of that nature. Well, it's not that hard with men. Men only get upset when the women start to let them down. And this seems to be the reoccurring problem in our modern new value system. Women have lost the understanding that men have certain expectations and certain principles and standards that if you break those things, you're going to put yourself in a compromised situation. There's weak men that'll let women go past their principles and standards, and that's not doing the woman any favours, nor is it helping to produce strength in their psyche or an understanding of men. As a matter of fact, it's undermining for everyone. But when you've got principles and standards and you understand that this woman's getting out of line and she needs a little bit of discipline. I can remember I met one lady, she come over to my place. This was in between a breakup, and she needed some discipline. So I smacked her on the bum for 5 minutes or so, and she was so relieved with some discipline that she fell asleep for half an hour. And when she woke up, she said, "What happened?" I said, "Well, I started smacking you on the bum, and you fell asleep. To my surprise, you've fallen on asleep." She said, "That's one of the best sleeps I've ever had." I said, "Yeah, well, that's good. It's time to go. See ya." So discipline and the lack thereof is part of the big problem that we're facing today in our modern culture. People, as much as they need it, they want to reject it. And what we're losing is the leadership of men, the good, wholesome, healthy leadership of men with their women. And women are trying to lead men, and it's a road that leads to nowhere. And it's very, very... people will protest when you stand on your masculinity. But if it's healthy, wholesome masculinity that's trying to lead people forward away from foolishness and a lack of principle and discipline and wisdom, then you have to hold your ground. And a lot of the time you're going to end up on your own. These people will frustrate you, they'll aggravate you, they won't listen to you, they'll go into what I call opposite directional dysfunction disorder and end up just starting to pull everything down. They'll withdraw, they'll disappear, their performance depletes, they start coming around only when it suits them to get something that they want. They're really not invested in a wholesome relationship. And you've got to be able to recognise this and deal with it swiftly, because you're not doing them any favours or yourself any favours. You need to be able to show these people and yourself when necessary that there are principles that we need to live by that are for the benefit of everyone. A relationship's two people. Let's keep it at that. The relationship has nothing to do with children. Your life as a mother is between you and your children and a father. And if you're inviting children into your relationship, you're out of order and you need to go get help, because you're disrupting the psyche of your children and you're weakening your femininity and undermining the masculine person in your life, the man in your life. So stick to your principles. Make sure they're healthy and wholesome and fair. And if people start in your relationship falling to pieces around you, deal with it quick, hold your ground, and they will come back and they'll be stronger. If you just enable it, you're really not doing anyone a favour, particularly the person that's trusting in you and listening to you. Influence is a big thing, it's a real thing, it's something that we all have, and you need to be able to use that influence to the best of your capabilities for the best outcomes for the people around you. This is Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist, New South Wales, Australia. The Art of Masculinity, How to Navigate a Male Psyche. Bye for now.